What's going on, everyone? My name is Jericho, and welcome to a video. We gotta have a talk, man. We gotta sit down, and we have to discuss the qualities of a MOBA game and the inner depths of why MOBAs are extremely not for me. Alright, we're gonna do that, because honestly, since the release of Paragon, even if we're gonna rewind, since the release of Heroes of the Storm, since League of Legends Season 1, when I started playing League, everybody's always been asking, hey dude, why are you playing a MOBA? Or, hey dude, didn't know you like MOBAs. Or, in recently, hey bro, why aren't you playing MOBAs? And I've got an extremely big headache about MOBAs, okay? And it's just not gonna go away until we talk about it. So, let's get down to business. This is Paragon, and it is a new game in beta developed by Blizz, lol. It's developed by Epic, the guys who made Gears of War. And the girls, I'm not sexist. We got a world that is built in Unreal Engine. It's very pretty. It's all great. It was heralded by all my friends. It's this awesome game that, you know, they went out and played early and they loved it, etc., etc. So I got on, breaking my streak of not playing a MOBA for a full year, and I played 2 games and then I got off. And here's the reason. The biggest thing that I have problems with in MOBAs are the direct nature of how you progress from the start of the game to the end of the game and how long that takes. So, if you've never played a MOBA before, you start off as this character, and throughout killing, you know, these AI characters, you get money, which allows you to buy upgrades for your character. You stay as this character the whole time. You get stronger by getting kills, by, you know, doing objectives, and then at the end of the game, your objective is to take down the enemy's base. Now, most MOBA games out there take at least 20 minutes or longer. There are some that are shorter, there are some that are longer, but if we're talking about the most popular ones, League of Legends has like an average game time of 45 minutes for most people. I had an average game around 45 minutes, and Paragon's the same way. So people always talk about how long the games take as a reason that they don't play them, and I'd have to agree with one exception. Counter-Strike takes 45 minutes average as well. Some of my games last an hour, some last shorter. Unless you seriously stomp everyone, your games aren't going to last longer than, you know, or aren't going to last less than 30 minutes in Counter-Strike. But the length of the whole game does not tell the story for Counter-Strike. This game, Paragon, is no exception, suffers from a really slow pace. I mean, the whole point of the early game in MOBAs is to basically position yourself so you're better than whomever you're in the same lane with. See these 2 people? I'm quote-unquote laning against them, okay? My whole job is to push them back and make sure that they don't get my towers. Like, that's it. So these guys are my enemies for the time being. Yes, there's 3 other people in the game. No, I don't really need to care about them because they're not directly fighting me. And this early game battle is a lot like a game of chess, where you're just trying to chip away at your opponent's lead with calculated engagements while not leaving yourself vulnerable to get rolled over. The problem with MOBAs in general, though, and this is my opinion, is the fact that this whole genre of game seems to be based off of winning early on so you don't have to spend the next 30 minutes AFK farming. If you don't know what that means, it basically means that if you get behind early on in the game, the first 5-10 minutes, maybe you make a couple mistakes, whatever, and the other player takes advantage of that, you, in order to become a actual contributing member of your team, need to then spend the next, 15-20 minutes, depending on how the game is set up and what game we're talking about, doing nothing but saving yourself from fighting other players and killing AI. That is not fun to me. It is not fun to myself, nor is it fun to a lot of people who come to watch my gameplay. Now, the big split in the road here is that I am not a person who's focused on being the best at games. MOBAs are a game that is a severely unforgiving game type for those of us who don't necessarily want to take the whole game seriously. It's unforgiving because, like I said, causing yourself to make little mistakes early on will overall fuck you up for the next X amount of time. And it will make it so you don't get to have any fun brawls with the enemy players because you won't do anything. You get shot once and you're dead. That's just how the games work. And, you know, for somebody like me who manages to try and have some fun in games and not take them as seriously, the MOBA genre is really not receptive of that. And I know you're probably saying, but Jericho, there's tons of YouTubers out there that make funny videos on League of Legends and shit. Look at Donkey and Sky. You ever checked? They're like diamond and high plat players. Like, these guys are really fucking good. That's the equivalent of going, Tucker, Tim the Tatman makes funny videos on Counter-Strike. Tim's fucking global, okay? And I'll get to Counter-Strike in a minute. There is a need to be serious while still having fun, because your entire team can decide, yeah, let's get 5 men in there and go, I don't know, let's just play five heroes that will absolutely never win the game together, just to have fun. I mean, that's fine and all, but about 20 minutes in, when you're losing by, 20 kills, most of the time you're either forfeiting or you're busy just begging the other team to stop killing you so you can slowly work your way up to even. Unless you're a really good player or a really good team and you're able to overcome this. But that itself, it deters me from trying different shit and having fun, because there's this culture around you have to take everything seriously in this game, or else, it's gonna mean that everybody in the game suffers for the next 30 minutes because they can't do anything because you fucked up so badly that player you're playing against in your lane decides to steamroll everybody else. Now, let's go into Counter-Strike, because there's a lot of people, whenever I bring this up on stream as to why I don't play League, they're like, dude, Counter-Strike's the same. It's a long game. If you fuck up early, you're guaranteed to lose, And I say, you're right. You're guaranteed to lose the whole game if you really, really fuck up. Like, really badly. I don't know what you're doing, but if you just pistol rush every game, yeah, or every round, yeah, I get it. But the pivotal difference is Counter-Strike and a lot of other games, FPF games, etc., don't necessarily hurt you for dying. They might hurt your team, they might hurt you in the short term, but overall, dying once in the game does not mean that you are set up to get fucked for the next 12 minutes, or 20 minutes, or 40 minutes, whatever it is. Counter-Strike is essentially up to 30 mini games in one big game. You can lose every single round in the game, still buy the weapons you want to an extent, and still have an impact on the game. How many times have you seen pro players win an eco round? If you don't know what that is, it's basically in Counter-Strike, when you win or lose a round, you get money for that. If you don't have a lot of money, you got to buy worse weapons. So you can win a game, or win a round rather, on an eco round just by simply having worse weapons. You're still able to contribute, and you're still able to change the flow of the game. Now, try doing that in League when you have 2 Doran's Blades and it's 15 minutes in. You're not doing shit. You're tickling the entire enemy team. And that in itself is the biggest issue that I have, is that MOBA games are one long Counter-Strike round, or one, whatever you want to call it, that hurt you for dying. And as a result, you cannot do stupid shit or mess around with people if you want to have a hope or a dream in having a lot of impact, or even any impact in the game. Now, you might say, Tucker, you don't need to get kills in order to have fun. Why don't you just camp a bush strat? You're right. There are ways to do that. But I'm talking explicitly the fact that these types of games rely so heavily on coordination, teamwork, and winning across the entire game. Your whole team needs to be doing well, or else if one person fails, the rest of the team's gonna suffer because of your mistake. It made it so I did not necessarily have fun whenever I would play League. Somebody might feed in a different lane where they'll just die over and over again. Now that person is so far ahead of everyone else in the game, they can come and influence every other player by shitting on their life. I hated that. I hated that a lot. And I get that it makes it so there's an intense group of people now that are, always trying their best. They never want to be put in that position. And I think that it makes it a super serious environment, and there's a reason that League and a lot of MOBAs are at the top of the esports world, because, they require a lot of skill, a lot of concentration, and they're very punishing for mistakes. But as to why I don't play MOBA games, like Paragon, like League, they're too slow, and they punish you too much for the issues that you may cause early on. Now, I don't know how they'd fix that. I don't know even if I'm in the majority here. I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority here as to why I don't like MOBA games that do this. But Paragon is no exception. It's big. It's slow. It's an average game of like 35, 40 minutes for the 2 games that I played. In every game I looked on Twitch, they were easily above 35, 40 minutes on completion. It's just, I have the time to put in 40 minutes per game. That is no longer an issue, and I don't think it's a big issue for a lot of people. I just don't want the commitment of 40 minutes to be ruined within 10 minutes by somebody else or my own stupid mistakes that then forces me to play the boring aspect of the game. Like, I don't even know what game I can compare it to. It's like, instead of going to the Elite Four and fighting Pokemon trainers all the time, you know, you have to go back and you have to fucking train your Pokemon in Viridian City for like 35 minutes. But, I mean, it's just like, oh, God, I just want the ability to not have to try my hardest to not fuck up. And I want the ability to play and mess around and have some fun and not take the game as seriously as possible, knowing that even if I do make mistakes, it doesn't mean that 20 minutes later I'm still farming and still doing the same shit I was doing 20 minutes ago just because I decided to have a little fun. And I know that for that, at least, I am in the minority. I just don't find it fun to get my ass beat over and over and over again, even when it's a group of friends getting my ass beat with them. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm actually really curious, are there other people that feel the same way but mostly play MOBAs anyways? Because I played League for 4 seasons and, you know, it took me that long to go, alright, I'm kind of done with this shit, you know, as a genre. If I'm in the minority, that's cool. There's a reason I don't play MOBA games. I feel like it's not good for creating content for my style. And I think I felt like, you know, I needed to lay that out, my reasoning, as well as the bigger issues that I have with the genre. Let me know in the comments below. I'll probably see a few people that are like, you're fucking stupid. But hey, I'm curious. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you all later.